Okay, tonight we're going to, so basically we start off with a sample that's approximately 4 inches long, 1 inch in diameter. It was machined according to ASTM standard 255-02, which you'll find in Appendix D of your lab manual. The material is 8640 steel, and as you can see, it's been previously machined. And right now I'm looking for the pointer option. Okay, and you can see here that, I don't know if you can see it very clearly, but there's a flat that was machined or milled on here, and then it's supposed to be polished so it's nice and smooth so we can take our readings. What basically happens then is this piece is placed in the oven for a period of time, as you'll see in your lab manuals. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You got to look in your lab manual and see what the temperature is, the Austen-Tiessen temperature, and if you can't find it, look at Appendix D and determine it. And then once it reaches that austenitic temperature and the time rig that will allow it to cool down from the end. So if you click on this video right now, you'll see how Ethan Wong, our lab technician, is demonstrating how it comes out of the oven and placed into a cooling room. Second. And after it's cooled down, what you're going to be doing is taking this and putting it on the Rockwell digital hardness tester, and you start on the C scale, and you start taking readings from the tip here, 1/16 of an inch away, and for the first inch, you do every 16th of an inch, and then the next 2 inches, you do 1/4 of an inch. So you'll be taking hardness readings all the way up. So now, what's required in the report? Well, the standard stuff: cover sheet, table of contents, objective, procedure, equipment, results, discussion, conclusion, references. There are no questions and answers in this report. Again, keep in mind the objective starts page 1. Don't let Word number your pages, please. Unless you add the cover sheet and table of contents later. But be careful that an objective is page. So the results section, I mean, if we go back and we look at the other stuff that comes out of the lab manual, the objective, the procedure, the equipment, that's out of the lab manual. The results section, well, if you're in the lab, you'd be taking data, and the data sheet is on the next slide. So what's going to be included in the results section is the data sheet, which is supplied. And again, I will send you the PowerPoint presentation of this, less the video, because the videos, I just wouldn't be able to send it to you. But you can look online and find videos of different schools showing how the NQuench test is done, or the Jomny test, if you want to look at it again. And then in addition to the data sheet, what you need to do now is to plot a curve of the distance versus the hardness readings. And if you're not sure what the curve should look like, look at page 21 1 of your lab manual, and there's a sample curve there to take a look at what it should look like. In fact, I believe that curve is for an 80. I believe it's for 8640 steel, if I'm not mistaken, but it may not be. You're going to have to look for a similar curve to make a comparison as part of your discussion. So here's your test results. So again, like I said, you started at 1/16 of an inch and you found the hardness reading of 58. But let me tell you, if you're doing this in the lab, you're going to find that these first 3 readings are very hard to try to get holding the sample steady and getting it that close to the edge. And that's the downside of this remote learning. You're not getting to do some hands-on and seeing some of the problems you're going to experience. So what should the discussion include? Discussion should include what is 8640 steel and the mechanical, chemical, and physical properties as a table, please. It'll be easier for me to see what you're doing. Then a discussion on what the geometry test is. That is, what does it show? What is it used for? Yeah, it's like a 1-liner, 2-liner. And then what is the austenitizing temperature used to heat the sample? How long did the sample have to be heated? Remember, we usually heat the sample 60 minutes per inch of thickness. Hint, hint. Then discussion of results. Did the curve you obtained look like the one shown in the standard? Well, you're going to have to go online and find a standard curve for 8640 and see how your curve compared and your data compared to the standard. And the standard curve for the material used is 8640. It's 8640 steel. And now I'm saying here, read the manual section, page 18, and also the appendix D, the ASTM standard. Again, that'll help you along the way here. All right, so that's a discussion. The conclusion is not as complicated. You basically summarize what you've done and did your results meet expectations. What does expectation means? Did your results look like what the standards show? And if it doesn't, try to see what kind of reasoning you can find why it didn't happen. Okay, so this isn't going to be too difficult. And hopefully everybody follows my directions, please. I don't think everybody's listening to me, but, so be it. The ones that listen to me, I notice they do good on their report. And then don't forget your references, include any that we used. So this concludes the me talking about how to prepare your lab report.